rhythms of the Highland dances and the sound of the bagpipes symbolise the proud traditions of Scotland. As an old Gaelic phrase puts it, the birthplace of the Highland dances is a land of mountains, glens and heroes. Scotland is part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. To the south lies Ireland and England and Wales. North of an imaginary line lies the Highlands of Scotland. And between the shores of the North Sea and Atlantic are the rugged Highlands. Here mountains, trees and lakes form an infinite variety of colours and patterns as the seasons come and go. In centuries past, the Highlands were the battlegrounds of warring clans, skirmished in the glens and hunted each other on the hillside. Later, Scotsmen and Englishmen clashed in the Highlands. Today, a conflict still goes on, the struggle of the Highlander to eke out a living in these isolated areas through farming, fishing and sheep herding. To the proud and independent Scotsmen who choose to remain in the Highlands, the Highland music and dances are special. The sound of the bagpipes may signal a marriage, a departure for war, or a burial. Traditionally, the Highland dances have been performed by Scottish soldiers and are considered a man's art, although many women and girls perform the dances today. On royal occasions, however, only men do the dancing. We wouldn't dare put women in front of the Queen with a kilt on, because she would protest. There are some basic techniques in the Highland dances. First, you need a good turnout of the legs and the thigh, as in ballet. Feet have to be well stretched. You need to keep your body straight and tall in contrast to the Irish dances. You use your arms to express feeling. A shedding is a very common pattern in dances, like the Highland fling. Let me show you the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. The Highland fling is a fairly slow dance, usually consisting of no fewer than 6 steps. 8 bars of music are taken for each step, the meter time being 34 bars per minute. For centuries, the Highland fling has been a dance of victory, performed by Scottish soldiers after defeating the enemy. Now we see the famous dance performed by young lassies who are members of the McLane Highlanders. The dance is accompanied by the bagpipes. The most famous of all Scottish Highland dances is Gilly Callum, better known as the sword dance, performed between crossed swords laid on the ground. Gilly Callum was always danced by soldiers, before going into battle, and it was considered a bad omen if the dancers touched the swords. There are some colourful stories about the possible origin of the sword dance. According to one historian, when the Romans invaded Britain in 54 BC, they were surprised to see a group of Caledonians dancing in and out among upturned swords and spears. 10 centuries later, according to tradition, a Celtic prince named Malcolm slew one of Macbeth's chiefs at the Battle of Dunsinane in 1054 BC, AD, a conflict immortalized by William Shakespeare. Malcolm reportedly took his opponent's sword and crossed it with his own on the ground.
As we see here.
Symbolizing the sign of the cross, and danced over it in great joy. The Celtic prince who later slew Macbeth at Lumpinen, Aberdeenshire, was believed to be Gilly Callum. A special step called the pas de basque is used throughout Gilly Callum. This step involves a series of springs from one foot to the other. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Another step predominant in the sword dance is known as high cutting. This too is a series of springs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. Now here is Gilly Callum as performed by 2 of my pupils. In the Highlands of Scotland, mountain snows melt in the springtime, forming rivers that rush to the sea. The green valleys created by these rivers provide precious farmland for the Scottish Highlanders. One of the big rivers of Scotland is the Spey. The fertile valley along the banks is called Strathspey. Strath means river valley. Near the source of the river is the village of Tullach. Strathspey and Tullach combine to form the name of one of the famous Highland dances, Strathspey and Half Reel of Tullach. The dance starts with the slow Strathspey, then breaks into the livelier Reel of Tullach. According to one story, the reel of tullach was invented by members of a church congregation who got snowed in one Sunday and started dancing to keep warm. Now there's the spay and half reel of tullach. Bagpipes were used by the ancient Greeks and introduced into Scotland back in 1066 AD with the coming of William the Conqueror. Throughout the centuries, the bagpipe has become the trademark of the Scottish people and is performed on state occasions for military parades and for exhibition dancing. Just as the fife and drum corps led soldiers into battle in the days of the American Revolution, Scottish pipers and drummers have headed their armies. Let's see how a bagpipe is played. The bag itself is made of leather, which the piper fills with air by blowing through a blowpipe. One pipe has openings like a flute and is called a chanter. The piper uses the chanter to play the melody. The three other pipes are called drones. Two give up a monotone that matches the lowest note on the chanter. These are the tenor drones, and the third drone, which is the bass drone, plays a note an octave lower than the tenor drones. Listen now to the sound of the drones. To play the bagpipe, you press the bag under the left arm to force air through the drones. Then play the flute-like chanter by forcing air through the blowpipe and into the chanter, fingering the chanter. Listen now to the melody on the bagpipes. The bagpipe remains the national musical instrument of Scotland. However, modern instruments are also used to accompany the dances. Our next Highland dance, Argyll Broadswords, comes from a Highland regiment and is a dance for 4 people. It is accompanied by a band consisting of violin, accordion, piano, and drums. First, the dancers march in, salute to a slow tune, then dance at the end. They repeat the salute and march out. The Argyle Broadswords. The traditional dress of the Highlanders, worn by soldiers, bagpipers, drummers and dancers for parades and special performances, is similar to what I am wearing. My coat and vest are known as the Prince Charlie style. Instead of trousers, the traditional man's costume calls for a kilt. My kilt is made of wool. Notice the woven plaid design made of colours and line patterns. The Scotsmen call this design a tartan. Every clan and many families in Scotland have their own special tartan. Tartans go back to the times of the ancient Britons and Celts of Europe, when the number of colours indicated a person's rank or position. My tartan belongs to the McKellar clan. Other well-known tartans belong to the clans of Duncan, McLellan, Macbeth, and Scott, our piper here, is wearing the McLane of duart. Around the waist, men wear a sporran, a purse usually made of horse hair, leather or sealskin. The rest of the costume of the Highland dancer consists of woolen hose and soft ballet-type shoes called a gilly. The girls wear similar costume to the men with a sleeveless jacket. Here's Margaret demonstrating a sleeveless jacket trimmed with silver braid and silver buttons. This lass is wearing the Napier tartan. Thank you very much, Margaret. Every Scotsman is fiercely proud of his family tartan, and it's a bitter day when he is denied to wear it. Way back in 1745, Prince Charles Edward Stuart of the Royal House of Stuart led the last rebellion of the Scotsmen against the English. Bonnie Prince Charlie, as he was affectionately called by the Highlanders, succeeded in putting his father on the throne, at Edinburgh, the capital city of Scotland. But when he marched on into England, he was defeated. As a result of the uprising, Parliament passed a law to curb the national spirit of the Highlanders by forbidding them to wear their Highland dress. Instead of their proud kilts, the Scottish were told to wear grey knee breeches called trews. As the story goes, government officers went through the glens looking for offenders. The stubborn Highlanders could be seen walking along the roads in their tartan kilts, but holding behind their backs the hated grey trousers, just in case they needed to slip them on in a hurry. A dance commemorating the historical event is Sheehan Trews. Sheehan means old and trews means trousers. This dance has a quaint, graceful action in slow tempo. But watch for little shaking movements of the foot, as if the dancer is showing how much he dislikes to wear grey trews instead of his kilts. The Sheehan Trews. Yes, from the Highlands of Scotland have come the Highland dances, performed today for royal ceremonies, state occasions, and for exhibitions. The spirit of the dances come from a world of mountains, lochs, and glens, from a history of Scottish chieftains and soldiers. From the Battle of Dunsinane to the investiture of Britain's Prince Charlie, the Highland dances remain the hallmark of men and women who wear the tartan proudly, who thrill to the sound of the bagpipes, and who choose to live in a rugged world because they loved their independence.